This is the one-day reading for the S&P 500 throughout the day of March 7th, 2022. The current date and time is 9:20 on March 1st, 2022. 9:20 p.m. All right, so the overall theme and behavior. There's a flight to safety. In the pre-market, we visit a important support level that was a past opportunity. We revisit that past opportunity. And there's a U-shaped dip as something that was hidden comes to light. In the first half, and that's around the open. In the first half hour, there's 3 pokes through a resistance level, and after the third poke, there's a sharp decline. That's roughly the first half hour. A courageous rally out of a sharp decline between roughly 10 and 11. We attempt to establish support. That's my dog barking at something that's not there, huh? So we attempt to establish support between 11 and 12, and then between 12 and 1, there's a move higher followed by an equidistant move, almost like a mirror image move back down, and 2 equal and opposite moves that cancel each other out. And that's roughly 12 to 1. There's an opportunity within a decline to open up some long positions or buy some calls. Interesting. In the midst of a decline, there's an opportunity to do that. The decline continues into roughly the 2 to 3 o'clock hour and into the 4, and picks up steam in the 4 or the 3 to 4 o'clock hour. There's sideways fluidity after a sharp decline around the close, and in the post market we have further decline. And in the case of Strife, what we'll see is there'll be lower lows and lower highs, but there'll be like these spikes to reach resistance, and each spike is going to be lower than the last one, but they come up to meet moving averages as the resistance, and it's kind of like one of those down she goes. Behavior around the high, there's going to be a fast sudden move higher within a period of decline. Behavior around the low, there's a lot of volatility. We'll meet a resistance level followed by a sharp decline that continues in volatility as we move lower. And based on what I'm seeing right now, it looks to me like we're probably going to see a low here at the end of the day. Preview card for March the 8th is a big push higher in the midst of a decline. So that implies more decline from today. And then the trade opportunity is going to be around, again, a fast sudden move higher. Interesting that this is here. It's probably a good opportunity to sell calls the following day, but we'll have to see in the next reading. So that's the SO meta portion, or that's the SO portion of the March 7, 2022 S&P 500 reading. We'll stay tuned because we're going to do the meta pattern recognition portion. I'll see you in a bit. Hello, my friends. It's Approveb. This is the S&P 500 one-day reading for March 7th, 2022. It's currently March 4th, 2022, 1:27 a.m. So the overall behavior and theme for the 7th is a flight to safety. We don't have a correlator here between the Hermit card and any of the timeline cards, so that could maybe nullify it a little bit, but it's a flight to safety on the 7th. We have a low in the pre-market when we revisit an important support level that was an opportunity, and then there's a rally right around the open, but there's also a U-shaped dip within kind of like sitting in the intersection of two perpendicular intersecting diagonal trend lines. That all takes place roughly right around the open. In the first half hour, we have roughly the first half hour, there's 3 pokes through resistance level followed by a sharp decline. And then we have a trade opportunity around roughly 10 to 11, where we have in the midst of a decline, there's a turnaround and a courageous rally out of that decline. However, there's another low correlator between roughly 11 and 12, so somewhere in there, there's likely another low or a second low for the day, and it's at the power support level, which power is in a lot of cases used as a significator for support level, so that could be prominent. And then we have more of a decline. So there's between 12 and 1, there's roughly 12 and 1, there's a move higher that's prominent, but it's followed quickly by a move lower that's like equal in strength and distance. So it's kind of like they cancel each other out. And then there's a sharp decline moving into the roughly the 1 to 2 o'clock hour. That marks another opportunity. There's also a peak there. It looks like we have a peak there around roughly, there's an important peak or crest around roughly 115, 110. And then that decline between roughly 1 and 2 o'clock is an opportunity to open up some long positions or buy some calls. Then we have another sharp decline through multiple support levels, followed by another trade opportunity in the last hour, where we have a peak and in the midst of a big move higher. There's like a big push to the upside right around the 2 o'clock mark, but then that's followed by a sharp decline out of that peak, and there's a trade opportunity as well. A low correlation right at the end of the day in the midst of some sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears, inflow and outflow and all that right around the close. And then we have strife, which is like it's a move lower below, it's a move going down below moving averages. They're acting as resistance, and we have spikes up to meet them, and then it falls further, and it spikes up but not as high as the last spike and falls further, and that's strife basically. So we see that in the post market. The sneak preview for the following day is a notable move from a important support level all the way to an important resistance level that starts after a scary decline. Behavior around the high is going to be a fast, sudden move higher within the midst of a decline, and it marks the end of that period of decline, and that's will form the high there. There's going to be multiple lows, guys, and in the midst of some notable volatility, and at least one of the highs is going to be very close to one of the main lows for the day as well. So like they're in quick sequence, and I'm sensing it's likely right around that 2 o'clock mark that we see that high and a sharp low. All right, guys, so that's March 7th, 2022. I hope this helps out. Let me know how you do, guys. I'd love to hear about it. I always respond back. If there's something you want to see, comment. I might be able to get around to it relatively soon, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that, guys. It really helps support us, and I'll see you all out there. Good luck.